Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. I'm going to be attempting to show you how I'm currently looking after Rosetta's leg. I'm just placing her in this sink actually, and then rinsing off her leg so that I don't have to like bend over as much, because tall people have a very increased risk of having back problems. So I always try to make sure that I don't have to bend too much. And this sink is big enough to hold her and strong enough, so that's the way I'm going to be doing it for now. And honestly, it works pretty great because I don't have to bend over as much. So I'm going to go grab her now. So this is her injured leg. You can see that it's already doing much better and she's walking on it. So hardly a limp. So that's how I'm currently looking after her. You can tell that she's a lot more cooperative than she was. And you know, when I first got her, I couldn't even really touch her without her trying to run away. And that's totally okay. I don't think it's the breeder's job to make the animals that they sell tame. It's a really nice bonus, but in the long run, I do feel that the buyer should be, you know, responsible for making the animals as tame as they want them. So I obviously want tame animals, and she's gotten a lot more willing to work with me throughout this process. So I do think it was kind of a blessing in disguise, thankfully. So she's really like close. I would say she's like 80% healed at this point, which is really nice. And she didn't lose too much conditioning during her injury, which is also really nice, because it's one thing to have an injury and, you know, have them get better from it. It's another thing entirely to have them like lose a lot of weight and have to put that back on as well. So I'm happy that she didn't lose too much condition on top of her injury. So yeah. Not too fast now. It's okay. I really have to hold her back here just because she gets too excited. BC. There you go. Almost there. Good girl. Good girl. Look at that tail wagging. So there she is. Doing much better. Oh wow, that's the first time I've seen her do that. Good girl. You're definitely feeling better, huh? So, really lucky break. I know I found her probably 20 minutes to 30 minutes before she could have been dead. So, and when I found her, I already thought she was dead. So I'm so thankful that she's 100% like on the way to being better. We've got some loudmouth schnooks over here. Payette. Yeah. What are you doing? You can see the guys attack as soon as she goes up. Easier for them to get milk that way. Hey, you cuties. We've got Gemma here. And Breeze, of course, who is still highly nervous, but working on it. And she's slowly getting there. But she's such a pretty girl. What are you doing? That's my knee. Oh! Hey, so it's about 3 days after that initial footage of working with Rosetta, and I'm just here with my does. I got some new additions yesterday, but first I wanted to talk about that drone footage that you just saw. We are baling small square bales, so they're baling the grass that I cut in the last video. And that's gonna be hay for the calves, for the goats, for the horses, and a little bit for the rabbits. And it's this field that I videotaped, there is so much feed there. We've got so many little square bales to pick up. It's not the nicest job to pick up the square bales actually, because the bale picker, I don't know what's wrong with it, but my dad has to hop out and adjust some bales, or a bale will fall off or tip off, or a whole line will come off the top, or stuff like that. So it's just a little bit finicky. So it's not the greatest job, but the square bales, the small ones, are honestly the easiest ones for us to feed. That's why we like them so much. But I think there's enough now that we can probably get away with just round baling everything next year. We'll see how that goes. I don't think we've got enough animals to be feeding all of that grass hay in one season. So yeah, and it looks like we're gonna start silaging next week. So today is Friday, so we're probably gonna start silaging on Monday or Tuesday. And the barley actually looks pretty good for what rain we got this year. And I have one little announcement to make that I'm so excited about. I bought 2 new goats. So that little red doeling over there is Lucy. And I've got these other 3 here. There's Cupid there, and Shine, and Maple. And they know me pretty well, so they're fine to cuddle and smell me and stuff. But these 2, Gemma is the other one in the corner there, the traditional. And I added them today, so they're kind of duking it out right now, trying to see who the top goat is in the group. So I may have been a little early with super putting with Batman in with the other 2 bucks, but I just wanted to see how they would react to each other. Out of Dapple genetics, and so Samurai, I'm hoping to honestly get a couple, it was like they were bros already, because there was hardly any headbutting. Preston's the one that so really hopefully I'll be able to get some Dapples eventually. That's why we're trying to sell him. He's this taken a little too much over there from Taco. We were able to send Taco away. And if you go back through my videos, if you're new, you'll, like from December, I think, you'll be able to see who Taco is and kind of why we talk about getting Taco off the farm, just because he was a bit more of an aggressive Nigerian dwarf buck, and we don't like having aggressive animals or animals that are hard to work with, because generally that's a trait they pass down to their offspring. So if we were to have used Taco for breeding, chances are if we would have gotten any does off of him, they had a really good chance of being hard to work with or wild. You see it with certain lines of cows. Have one cow, actually Birdie was one of them, a heifer that I took to the show in the springtime. And if you go back to my National Holstein Convention videos, you'll see which heifer that was. But her dam is actually a very flighty, hard to work with, not nice to milk cow. And Birdie herself is also a really flighty, hard to work with animal. She's sweet natured, but just really my way or the highway mentality. So it's not always fun to work with animals like that. And if you've got a small-ish hobby, then you need to make sure that you keep it enjoyable to work with, otherwise it's not fun anymore. So the Nigerian dwarves are my mom's project, and that's why she chose to sell off Taco and then, you know, keep Preston because he was doing better. But now I think Preston's had enough time to mature where he's really bucky. And yeah, so Samurai is actually a really good influence for Batman, so we're hoping to sell Preston. He makes really funny sounds. I don't know what they're doing, but Batman keeps on wanting to eat Samurai's hair and he just lets him. So that's weird. Are you itchy? Is that why you do that? It's kind of weird, dude. So the integration of Batman actually went superb. So he's outside now. I had him in the barn for a day just to let him acclimate and sort of rest from his journey. And then I took him for a walk this morning, and then I put him outside just to see how it went. And I'm gonna leave him out here just because it's easier to feed them all in one place, and there's no problem, like there's no issue like there was with Preston and Samurai. They really fought, and I don't see any of that attitude here with Batman, so looks like he's gonna be fine in this pen. So I know it's going to be a question, so I'm going to answer it right away. I know Lucy has a split in her ear. That's because she had an ear tag, but it got torn out, unfortunately. And we have that happen with our cows too. Sometimes they'll rip an ear tag out, it just gets caught on something, and they yank it, and then unfortunately the tag gets torn out. It's a cosmetic thing. It's not going to have any bearing on how her offspring are going to look like. So I'm really happy. It gives her a little bit of character. Obviously, you'd rather not have torn ears on your goats, but it is something that happens. So you just gotta go with it as it happens, I guess. I'm still very, very happy with her regardless. She's a beautiful color. She's really nice conformation. I love the muscling on her. She's chunky. Like, I'm really new to goats, but the two goats that I got yesterday, Batman and Lucy, they're beautiful, and I'm really happy with the quality of the goats. So here we have Mako, and I am here because with every good thing that happens on the farm, sometimes there is a bad thing. And unfortunately, Mako actually aborted her calf. You can tell because she slightly uttered up there, and she was dripping milk the other day. She's been dripping milk for about a week or so. So she's aborted her calf probably about a week or two ago. So she was kind of bagging up, and for whatever reason, she lost her calf. So when a farmer says a cow aborted, it's not like a voluntary thing like with people. It just means a miscarriage. That's just the terminology you use when it comes to animals. They abort the pregnancy like they aborted the mission. So, and it could have been due to the extreme heat that we're experiencing right now. The fetus could have been sick. She could have been sick. Although she looks really healthy. Something could have just been wrong with her reproductive system. We don't know what happened, but we will be giving her another chance to stay with the bull and get pregnant again, hopefully. And then if she does not carry a calf full term and then, you know, calve out in the barn, if she's unable to keep a pregnancy, then she will unfortunately have to be put on the truck for shipping. And it's one of the parts of farming that I really hate. I hate saying goodbye. I you know, I hate getting attached to an animal and having to watch it go on the truck and leave, but that's just the reality of farming. We can't keep them all. I have Pumpkin as my one no-ship bovine because I also personally have 2 horses. Right now I have 12 goats. I think I have like 10 rabbits, and those are my personal animals. And if I keep adding cows to that list, it's going to amount to a lot of feed, and that's a huge expense that most farmers just can't afford. So animals do need to earn their keep if they're going to stay here. Unfortunately, that's just how it is with the farming life, and you know, as a farmer you have to accept it. It doesn't mean it's easy. Like, if she has to go, I will cry and I will be sad because, you know, I get emotionally attached to a lot of these animals, but you also have to realize that it's just not feasible to keep every single animal. So we are giving her a second chance. We're not about one and done, so second chances are usually given to heifers like Mako that abort their calves first, and even cows in the barn, if they abort their babies, then they do get a second chance. But if it is a continual problem, then they do have to go. So that is an unfortunate little bit of news for Mako for obvious reasons, but hopefully she'll catch again, and hopefully she'll carry that calf to full term this time, and then she will be a milking cow in the herd. So hopefully that'll be the case. If not, then that's just how it is. So I am back in the barn again. I'm here with Breeze. She's one of the 3 doelings that came from Quebec like 3 weeks ago now, I think. And she still doesn't like me, even with food bribery. So this is an issue just for me because I need all of my doelings to be tamed just so that they're easier to work with. It's a lot more fun to have goats when they like you as well. But I think there was somebody that raised a concern about how small the pen is, and I mean, it's a good pen. It's more of a good-sized kidding pen, but the reason why I have her in here is because she'll jump a 5-foot fence. I need her to be able to be calm enough so that I can put her in a group with other goats, and so that she'll let me approach her. Right now she'll run away from me, and if I put her in a big pen, she's not going to be able to be caught, and I won't be able to look after her properly in case something happens. So I just need her to learn to like me at the very least. She doesn't have to love me. If she doesn't want to, I'll accept that, but she does have to accept that I need to be able to approach her without her running away. And she is a little bit more calm than when she came, but she's still quite flighty. So that's why she's in a smaller pen, because she needs to be tamer before I let her go out into the group, because otherwise she's not going to be able to be worked with. And she is sweet. She's just really nervous. And that's Rosetta. She's eating. And if the bedding looks dark, it's because they love to throw hay everywhere instead of eating it. So it's not the beautiful golden straw that you know and love, but it is a clean pen. It's just hay, and that's why it looks dark. Rosetta, her wound has actually scabbed over. It's still leaking a little bit, but for the most part it's looking pretty good, and she's walking almost normal on it now. So the everyday care has been doing wonders for her, and yeah, she's almost there. I think in a week she'll be able to go back outside again and be with the group. And then we have these 3 sweethearts. They haven't changed much from the beginning of the week. They're always growing, and they're still very, very sweet. So I think I'll end the video there, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please like and subscribe. And I have an Instagram and a Facebook that you can follow and like. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.